for the most part. The Void Spirit does put a question mark in my mind, to be honest. I'm not a fan of this hero either. But, you know, Tundra 9, particularly good Void Spirit player. I think it somewhat fits in this draft, and I like the spirits in general against the Squirrel, so I'm not too bothered by it. And it just seems like a solid game for Tundra for the most part, very straightforward. Only difficulties might be playing around the opportunities for Luna, because it depends on the team. It's not always that easy to play this faster hero, because you need to disturb the Magnus's farm, or the Magnus helping out the Wraith King farm. But overall, I would usually go for Tundra if it wasn't Brame and their wacky antiques.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great point. I've always said that for Spartan, you want to give him one of these. I don't think I've ever said the word before, but you want to give him a squirrely type hero, right? Give him a Chen, give him an Enchantress, give him a hero that is going to take you a long time for you to kill, because then when he kind of just runs at you very awkwardly at the 45-minute mark to kick off a team fight, you're never sure if he's got the support of his team behind him or if he's just kind of running in a little bit haywire. And that's what makes Brame so fun to watch, because sometimes he is just running in all haywire, and they still make it work.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I think that the Hoodwink is perfect for him, honestly. When I saw the Shadow Demon, I was a bit afraid it was going to be him and not Stomanen, but I'm glad they decided to put him on the Hoodwink instead. Because I do find that Stomanen is a very solid Shadow Demon when he plays save, whereas I say Spartan usually uses save heroes to save himself from danger. And the Squirrel, I think, is perfect, because you can actually disturb the enemy team, create a lot of space. We've actually seen this kind of style on Thompson before, where he plays Hoodwink, and even if he's playing supposedly a mid hero, he'll cut the lane and then create a diversion for like 30 minutes while the enemy team just chases after him, and that'll be the space creation that he makes rather than trying to go and kill heroes with a mid hero.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've compared him to like the older Treant Protectors that would rush the Meteor Hammers and then just cut your waves for 45 minutes. The issue with that, although it still rings true this game, and especially for Spartan, we've got really, really great hunters. Like, I wouldn't want to be playing a Tinker in this game, right? Even if it wasn't banned, I don't think Wish was asking for it. And Tinker, hero that likes to hide in the trees. Squirrels, obviously, they tend to stick to trees as well. And it's not going to be too easy, especially once we do get this Luna Shard online. I think Aoi brought up a build he's been seeing in pubs. I don't think we're necessarily going to see like that specific build, but the Shard, I would say, it tends to be core, if not from second Roche, usually as a value item after your third or fourth. And that's going to make it super, super easy to find and kill this Hoodwink, if, you know, not to mention the Clockwork, right, and the Void Spirit. So they've got ways of hunting him down, but hey, these are the kind of games that Spartan likes playing into.
Yeah, I do also think that Brame did draft appropriately for these hunters, based on their really tanky cores, right? Having an ET, a Magnus, and a Wraith King, neither is a really good opportunity for you. Yes, the supports might be easy pickings, but as Trent said, honestly, until the ET came out, Clockwork didn't really do much this game, at least not against the cores. And against ET, he's only going to stop him. It's not like he's going to be able to completely destroy him, because ET should be able to tank him as well. So they have dealt with the Luna's burst damage decently in that sense. They can also go and mash her thanks to the natural order. I think the cores are looking good here for Brame. Of course, the difficulty is the Viper being able to kite these out and endlessly. But that's going to be the Magnus' job to kind of deal with that Viper and stop him by putting him out of position.
Stats not too... It's a bit foreboding, I'll use that word instead, for Tundra, having one of those heroes on the list. But don't worry, Brame have got one as well. I think this is the third or fourth game that Nine has played a Void Spirit in this patch. And he is positive on it for now. Of course, very small sample size, but we'll see here how it works out for him. Thus far, I'd say he's enjoying life in the mid lane. You know, him and Wish are both going to get their farm. They're both going to farm these side camps, and it's going to be up to who wants to make the first rotation and how, you know, your opponent is going to respond. Are you going to TP over? Are you going to maybe gank the other lane? We'll see. Something that I've always really liked about watching Tundra play, though, and this is something that I think Snaking really brought to the team. Here he goes, on the money, on the mark, rather. He's going to go and rotate towards the mid lane and just look to ruin Wish's life right now. He's going to try and stop him getting the water. And look, the scan is here, because it's something that he always does, especially on the Clockwork. So good job acknowledging this, and Wish actually calling for reinforcements early from Stomanen. This is something that they didn't actually manage to do in their best of one tiebreaker, and that really, really hurt Wish's game and helped Nine kind of just snowball from there. So good adjustments being made between the series.
Yeah, I like this actually. In fact, we actually seen sometimes in other regions, particularly in NA, we were seeing this a lot, where after the rotation, the 4 would also try to block the camps, like block the small camps, so you never had that option with like a little sentry there. We also saw him in SA a bit because, you know, more farming mids in both those regions, and it seemed like that was a possibility here for snaking, of course. So I liked it. They also put some pressure on the Viper taking advantage of this, and Wish instead now has his camp free, can just push out the lane. It's a farming lane. Nobody's gonna kill anyone in that lane unless anyone makes a mistake. So it's just about how do you maximize this farm. Bottom lane though, there might be a kill here, particularly on snaking, where the Bushwhack brings him out of those cogs and proceeds to kill him, however, in exchange for focus. So a pretty good trade for Tundra as of now.
Mid lane, Wish is holding on to the RP. He's going to go ahead and pop it now. Skewer at the ready, right underneath the tier 1 tower. He goes. Bushwhack not out in time, though. Will it matter all that much? Because 9's not up to level 6. We just don't have the catch required. Even if Spartan had the cooldowns, he's got no mana. So that's going to be the first RP used in an attempt to kill 9. He gets the bottle refill. He's at level 6. He might just go for a bit of a move himself, especially since Snaking's just rotated over.
Yeah, Snaking wants to protect him. In fact, might even be able to get a kill against Wish, who just uses RP, so you know he's a bit vulnerable in that sense. The Bushwhack is just, the cast point is quite large actually. Well, for a stun anyway. So it's not immediate at all. It's actually not a really good ability to catch spirits with unless you do it from outside of, like from fog, right? Or you have a set of stun for it. Which is why the RP needed to be just exactly there. It was a tough call. I think it's okay for them to make these calls. I think you want to take the risk, and that's Brame style anyway. But it was very difficult for that to succeed. And on the other hand, Tundra is the opposite, right? They go for the safe way. They go for the Midas Deuce. They want to secure their game as much as possible. And they only rotate when they know it's going to be a surefire kill. And when they see that's not going to happen, they stop the rotation immediately, as we've seen Snake do twice already.
Yeah, I'd like to see 9 kind of do something with this, so because you can look to rotate away from this mid lane as soon as that wagon's taken care of. And because Wish doesn't have RP, even if he does TP on over, I don't think you're really all that scared of him. For now, he's just content to continue farming. Maybe wants to get full phase boots first to get all the armor to make sure that Wraithkin can't just stun him and quickly kill him. But, you know, now that I take a look at it, I don't really think either of his side lanes are hurting too bad for a gank. I'd say Tundra, for now, they're pretty happy with the way the laning stage is developing.
Yeah, they're quite happy. I mean, they're farming on both their Luna and their Viper. Luna will eventually mass a ridiculous amount of farm while she goes back and farm the jungle. The Void Spirit seems to be doing quite well himself, actually matching a Magnus with a power, not bad whatsoever. And it's not like you're looking to fight this early game anyway. You're looking for like a more of a mid-game lineup anyway. So I think you're quite happy with the passivity. But I'd say that Brame is in a similar position. It's all about what happens when Tundra hits that first initial power spike, either with Viper, Void Spirit, or maybe a little bit later with Luna, depending on how fast they want to play this, and how much they can disturb the Magnus farm, that being his or any of the other melee cores with the power.
Okay, Wish
like,
has another RP ready to go. Yeah, Line's going to be too fast to leave, though. On bottom,
but in the bottom lane, they do find Snake.
Or do they? I think they do. They do.
Yeah, I think they do. He tried. Those cogs were a good idea if you could push him back, but Focus not going to give you the chance. In the top lane, we see an attempt on Skylark's life as well, as in the mid lane, they actually found a secondary hero. It was going to be... Oh, it's actually SSA Spartan, who was surprised by 3-3's rotation. Here comes 9 as well. Bushwhack misses. SSA regretting that miss as he falls. The power of 9 and 3-3.
Yeah, he's been poisoned to death. He will drop. I think Skylark is going straight for the Ags Rush, which is the build he likes to go for. Phase Boots, Ags, and then Echo Saber usually to really power up that briefcase and just start chunking people up to level 6. But here's 33. Yeah, and this is kind of the thing I was about to mention. He just hits you with a Viper Strike, and even with Ags, you don't want to be there anymore. And he's going to die in the fountain even. And that just doesn't change. Even with Ags, that doesn't change. If anything, it gets worse because, hey, when you get Ags, because we've got a great position for Clockwork that is snaking, at some point I'd expect him to get an Ags. Not that he needs it, of course, because the one hookshot, even through your Aghanim Scepter, magic immunity period on the ET, is still going to be absolutely ruined by this guy. So, a bit surprised to see the pick. I'm wondering how they're looking to utilize the hero.
Bottom, they managed to finish off the Clockwork. And you're right, I mean, the idea here is what we mentioned earlier. It has to be Magnus, or maybe Hoodwink even, who deals quickly with the Viper in the fight, putting him out of position and proceed to punish him. ET can help, of course. If he's out of position, you can kill him. And then ET is a bit more free to roam, and well, not roam, but to go and kill anything else in the fight. And he's completely free with BKB afterwards. I think that's the idea. I mean, Magnus, we've talked about how strong his skewer is, just because it manages to put someone out of position, how strong that fishing is, now that Tiny's out of the meta, Bad Rider is not as favorable either. The hero becomes pretty much the only one that's still in meta and can do this reliably. So, especially with the Shockwave, I think it's quite reliable, and with the Horn Toss on top of that. So I think it's just Wish has to do a bit extra this game to really be able to counter that Viper.
Okay, okay. I think you make a strong point there. All right, I like it. Another
But
Viper
for now,
strike top
Skylark is going to
lane,
suffer.
Yeah, he's still on definitely on the struggle
dead.
bus here a little
dead.
bit, and well, the struggle bus just broke down. As down he will go. Stomana now he is next to fall. As Nine's rotation, his first rotation actually is going to be top lane in order to join his two cores. Might even look to apply a little bit of tower pressure here in the enemy triangle.
Yep. Tundra. They
Oh, the
wow,
Quelling
they cut down a
Blade.
tree. Oh wow, who was it? Yeah, the Luna. You ask why you buy Quelling Blade on ranged heroes. The noobs will tell you it's for the damage. The pros know it's for the bushwhack, you know? Anyway, they're going to catch out the Squirrel as well. Maybe not. Missing the Ether Remnant. In fact, 9 now needs to retreat, dissimulate. He's going to be fine. But that was, you know, already Tundra taking advantage of this early power spike with the Viper Void Spirit. I think is the right way to play Luna anyway. However, they might need to face a Magnus who's also eager to start fighting. RP is ready. I think he just got Echo Saber. He deals a fair amount of damage. And while not being the easiest hero to find kills with, if Tundra overextends, the RP is a great punishment tool.
Oh yeah, and that's something that Brame are very keen to do. They really, we'll see if we get to it this game, but in their previous series, especially versus Tundra, they love baiting right underneath the bottom tier 2 tower. They'll put up a Tinker Ward and just wait for Skitter to come and farm a wave. So I'm really looking forward to whether or not he's going to fall for that one today, because he has in their previous 2 series. That's something I was keen to notice. Hookshot top lane, though, will catch Skylark, trapped inside the cogs. Battery Assault now active, 33 piling on the poison stacks. Skylark, another trip back to the fountain for him. That's his 3rd death now. This one goes to Snake King, but 33 involved in all 3 of them.
And Skylark is really on that struggle bus. I think he's maybe gotten off the struggle bus, is now on the struggle car because he's even going slower.
Yeah.
He's not going to get to his destination at this rate. It's difficult for him, and 3-3 knows this. It's just a free kill every time he goes there. There's something that Brame struggle with, which is the I'm using that word too much now. They can't always create space. Like their lineups don't always lead to being able to get quick kills, and then they try to create space by dying, which is fine, but that leads to one of their cores being a bit behind, right? But that's how they play. Focus is a farmer. He loves to farm with these heroes. He likes to be the 40-minute timing. He was forced to go for the armlet. It's good. He's going to be able to fight a bit sooner. But Brame needs to be able to get kills off this armlet, or else it'll feel like a bit of a dead item compared to the straight Radiance.
Yep. It's buffed even more, of course, by Empower. So, you know, he is obscenely strong right now on Focus. It's good. So we'll see here what he can make use of it. Again, he might struggle a little bit. Same problems as ET has versus a Viper Strike versus the Clockwork, but he does have that second life to play with. Currently already not leveled, actually. Saving the skill point for now is Focus. As we see Tundra rotate a couple more heroes up top lane, eager to defend.
I want to add to that point because you're completely right. It slipped my mind, the whole Empower thing. With the Empower, you might not be able to match the Luna entirely with your farming speed, but you got to get close to it for sure. So you might not need the farming item, and you're much more free to go for the Armlet Blink Dagger build that's so popular, or Armlet Halberd Blink, or Armlet BKB Blink, whatever it is, right? That you go and actually win the matchup. Oh, the Armlet Dezo, the classic now. And this is fine because of the Empower, so it's true. Actually, I think this is a very good idea by Focus. He's still going to be playing the farming hero, but it allows him to be a bit more diverse by being able to engage earlier and still keep up with the Luna somewhat, even if I still think she's going to have a little bit of an advantage.
I'd say right now, changing gears, yeah, Skylark, he's going to die again, unfortunately. I was going to mention Skylark, but unfortunately I was hoping it wouldn't be for yet another death as down he goes. Tundra just eager to rack up the kills on him, and we're at this really crucial point now for ET, where we've already committed into the point booster. Doesn't build really into anything too useful for him other than, what, a Scotty? He has to go for X at this point, right? He's all in. But he doesn't have a farming mechanic. He doesn't feel like he has anyone to really go in.
He has Empower. He has Empower.
He's got Empower on the ET. Okay, well, he's got nowhere to farm then, I would say is the problem, right? Because 33 is just... 33 will follow him to the ends of the earth right now. Yo, you want to go farm bottom? Cool. I'll TP down bottom, push your tower, make sure you can't touch the waves. You want to stay top lane? Be my guest, right? I'll kill you a couple more times. I'll call Snake King over, and we'll crack a cold one over your dead body. Like, it's not going well for Skylark here. He's going to really struggle to have much of an impact outside of just the ultimate and the natural order.
Yep, it's true. I mean, the thing is, because you usually play as a support, I guess you still have an impact just by existing, you know, because you're useful just with experience. So it's not as bad as losing an off laner that might be more, like, might need to get a Blink Dagger early, right? Like, if you're playing, say, I don't know, say an Earthshaker or the 3. I know it's not a common pick, but then you would be screwed completely. Because how do you recover? What do you do? At least ET, you can always play support. You might be missing a core, but you always have that option. So it's not entirely too bad. And now Brame is like, all right, we figured out the top lane is not safe for Skylark. Maybe we put it mid, and they're correct. He's a bit safer there. They've given the top lane to the Wraith King, who was a harder kill for the Viper. But Tundra just wants to kill the Wraith King twice. Yeah. Oh, and Brame does the same. You smoke, I smoke too. They're Greek. They're the master smokers of Europe. You're not going to beat these guys at smoke.
Well, we'll see here. As Tundra just setting up vision for now on the enemy triangle. No one's showing on the map, so everyone a bit hesitant. We can see Skitter all the way behind his own tier 2 towers right now on the minimap, just in safety. Looks like Tundra will blink first as their smoke breaks, and they'll just go ahead and finish off this top tier 1 tower. First tower of the game taken here.
Okay. I mean, yeah, not the ideal tower to take first, right? But I guess they've been putting so much pressure in this lane, and they kill Focus. There we go, that's important. Can they do so, though? He's now the reincarnation. That's going to be his first life. Where are the reinforcements? Here comes the rest of Brame with a whole blink. First, the Bushwhack setting up for the Sharpshooter.
Great
Trying to go for snaking first. They're going to try their best. RP's available with the Earth Splitter. The combo's going to work here. 3-3 and snaking are dead. Skylark must feel great about that. Finally gets rid of the stupid Viper. They still can kill Fata as well. Brame, they deny the tower. Take a good fight afterwards, and Tundra was even positioned with all heroes there, including the Luna, who used Eclipse for that. So it's not like they even got space out of that play. That was really good for Brame.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, Eclipse is going to be, and even actually the Moonglaves to a certain degree, pretty hard countered by the same things Battery Assaults are. And in this case, it's all those skeletons that Focus brought back on his second life. Luna eclipses, throws forward a beam, quickly realizes, this fight's going real bad, and does well to get out before the Skewer could kind of force her into that RP. Really great counter initiation from Brame, playing beautifully actually around the level 1 reincarnation. They're not too limited by their cooldowns, but Tundra are going to know that they can't do that again for quite some time, so I'd expect them to just get right back aggressive here, look to make use of these wards that they have, and try and find maybe a kill or at least another tower off the back foot of this.
That was the hook shot. They do find Stomanen. They do use the Bushwhack in time, but Stomanen should still be dead. Gets the Demonic Purge. Actually, Stomanen saved by the Stomp, perhaps, as Naim will get a big bout of damage now for the Demonic Purge, but they can't catch up to him, so Naim will survive. Instead, in the backlands, Fata has been left behind, and Fata will be the sacrificial lamb. Stomanen actually gets to live. Another initiation by Tundra that's thwarted by the strong Brame.
Yeah, nice job there. Just making sure you can get off that self-disruption, bringing in a couple of illusions, and a pretty bad place to be caught diving there if you're Tundra. If you're not all immediately there and committed, and you kind of hesitate a little bit like that behind an enemy tier 1 tower, in front of an enemy tier 2 tower, there's going to be reinforcements there immediately. So Brame do very well to just kind of say, no, you guys are going too far here, and recognizing they can still take skirmishes if Tundra kind of take them slightly haphazardly like that, I dare call it. So that's going to be just about all the cooldowns reset. They'll be good to go again. In fact, we might even see Brame smoke up themselves. We've got Blink Dagger and the first component of RP finished for Wish. RP now coming off cooldown at level 2. Maybe you finish, you wait for the BKB to be finished, maybe you wait for Reincarnation to get back, of course. Still a super long cooldown because it was a level 1 death. Yep. Might even need that now, but Focus is going to be able to dodge the Aether Remnant tossed out by 9, so there's no threat to his life here.
Alright,
well,
it's looking good for... Luna is farming fine, right? I mean, I don't think Skitter should be too worried. You can match the Empower speed. That's why I thought that Luna was a pretty good pickup against the Empower, but you don't usually get the advantage that sometimes Luna or TB have against certain core-to-core matchups, which is I just out-farm. Oh. There's no Reincarnation right now in Focus, but Focus, he was even considering going in. But yeah, when you get Luna or TB, you get away with a lot of matchups because you farm faster. This might not be the case with an Empower lineup, which is why I feel like there's a chance for Brame to be able to just overwhelm her. You're going to have 3 cores at some point, 2 ideally. They're as strong as her, that match her farming speed. Wraith King has a pretty good core-to-core matchup against the Luna. It's looking good for the mid-game for Brame.
I think we smoke on this Ags for Skylark. We're going to have Reincarnation ready to go. We're going to have just so much damage right now for Focus with that Empower as well as the Imp Claw. I mean, if you can get on top of someone, oh boy, that is a lot. That's a big red number above their head. They're not going to be living too long there. As you can see, makes very quick work of the tower. 33 at least dodging the Sharpshooter. He's got a TP scroll. Going to go for it now. Focus blocked by his own skeletons. They're traitors, and that's going to allow 33 to then just leave in peace.
Alright, so you get away with that. There's still a smoke coming out from Brame here. So they're going to try to take advantage of this because you know they don't have vision around the area. So try to go for a surprise smoke with your hunting squad. Honestly, if you get the RP off, or even just the disruption, you should be able to kill most things here. I think Luna is the ideal target, obviously. Viper you'll take too. Skylark trying to bait. Like, I swear, guys, I'm alone. I'm just farming. I need to recover. Plum for me.
He's got Axe though, so I don't know. He's not really the best target here, because of course when the spirit returns to you, when you get into avatar form, I believe is the activist fault. It does give you that dispel, so it's really hard to actually jump onto him. Burn focus mid lane, and my goodness, he's got so much damage, especially with Armlet and that Empower buff, taking down that tier 1 tower. He made it look like a Nemesis tower there. Down it goes. The rest of Brame willing to fight. Twish smoked up. Having the TD in the bottle, Blink Dagger, RP all ready to go. Snaking in a great position here to break some smokes, but Brame, they're not going to push anything too hard. They're just going to go ahead and maybe even look for the Luna top lane. Skitter knows there are enemies coming, rather. Spartan, can he toss out the Bushwhack? Just off the mark, unfortunately. Skitter chose the right tree to TP away to TP away behind, I should say, and he's going to make it out alive.
Yes. And now they know Skylark is definitely alone, so Skylark doesn't want to bait as hard anymore. As they are considering, if they hit him with a Viper Strike, he's still vulnerable. Oh, they find the illusion instead. The smoke got broken by Skylark's positioning, and then they thought, oh, the illusion must be the real one. Good bait. We've seen this before, actually.
Brame are committing pretty hard for this one. They really, really want to get something out of this DD rune, out of this Ag Scepter. But Tundra doing well to just kind of stay away. This is a pretty scary trap right now that they're looking into, and they don't want to, put their fingers in there and poke around, because they're afraid that they might come out with it a couple less digits. So just playing it patiently, continuing to get their farm on the Luna. Once BKB is online for Skitter, it's being fetched now by the Courier. Perhaps they can change their tune.
This passivity might hurt you into the... Like, you're not going to be able to beat them if it goes late enough, because they'll have just 2 really farmed cores, and you really are going to have maybe Luna. Maybe Void Spirit can add to it, but I feel like Wraith King and Magnus can easily deal with him, even ET. And Tundra hasn't been able to use their power spikes as effectively, because similarly, they haven't really been able to fight due to Brame's position. They go for a quick kill on Spartan. Without they had the Lucid Beam there to deal with.
Yeah.
It's a good hunting kill though. You need to afford these, and you need to push more towers here. You need to be able to do something. This is the power of an RP.
Yeah, that's kind of the threat here. But it feels like at this stage, by the time that we get, a full 5-on-5 going, when everyone's, 6-slotted, ready to fight, and the supports are going to be 3-slotted, if we take a look at what one of those 3 slots will be for Stomanen, it's going to be an Acceptor. He's already halfway there and making really good progress here on the 3rd component, as he's using the illusions to bait a little bit, continuing to farm safely. Top lane, though, Focus might be in for some trouble. Skitter's nearby. But Focus just too tanky here with this Armlet and his own BKB. It's kind of just about an impossible kill.
Yeah, and because they didn't acquire as much map control, it's difficult for them to set up for these kills, because they know the enemy team can TP to, worst case, a tier 2 here, right? Or even a tier 1 mid, depending on where you find them. And they're going to get in time for the reincarnation to come back. It's tough for Tundra to go ganking, or Tundra in general to make plays. The lineup is consistent, but it had to have a very nice snowball from the early game. And they weren't able to accomplish that too much, and now they're just going to continue farming passively until something happens, but they themselves cannot propose that, unfortunately, due to the nature of Brame's trap.
No, you're exactly right, but something I want to highlight here is 33's decision to go kind of for a little bit more of a mid-laner Viper build. He went for the bots really, really early, and if we just take a look at the map, every single wave except for top, which Focus is focusing on pushing right now, is pushed in almost at the towers to Brame. This gives you a huge amount of buffer space for your Luna to continue farming, for you to just try and take this a little bit later at your own tempo, right? Because it's going to be supremely obvious when enemy heroes are on your side of the map and looking to gank, as they are right now, because no one's defending mid. There's the first TP back, though. It's going to be Focus, and that'll scatter Tundra to the wind.
Yeah, I get that. I think that's pretty good point, actually, on the travel boots on Boots of Travel on Viper. By pushing lanes, you make smokes a bit easier. By pushing lanes, you also get a secondary core that might be able to lead into the late game. So you have something that mitigates the impact of a Magnus. It's a very good point, actually. I think 3-3 definitely went for the right choice here.
All right, Roshan is the play then for Brame. First Rosh of the game at 24 minutes in. We'll see here. Tundra, they know what's up, though.
What? They just leave the Rosh bit and they go for a kill here. And this might not be the best initiation, though. Focus in the wrong spot. They kill SSA immediately. Focus has been slowed down. Focus just kiting him for now.
Damage.
Crit does force that ultimate on Vata, but Focus cannot get away. Shield to set up. They're in the high guys, they go for the RP, but they do get two with the RP, and it was Wish hitting them, and Wish might just be sufficient. Skidder trying to get away. Wish waiting for that BKB to end so he can shockwave him, but a nice heal set from 9 will stop him doing so. Skidder still wants to counter-initiate this with the help of Snaking. He keeps his distance, doesn't want to die here. The Earth Splitter, though, from Wish next to the Skewer gets Snaking's life. That's not going to be just enough just yet. They want Wish as well. Poison attack will finish him off. Focus activates his BKB.
The disruption illusions.
Essentially his second life here. Much more useful. 3-3 just falls. Skidder, though, finds a support. Much easier kill. 9 will try to help him as well, but SSA trying to help his brother out. Can he do so? SSA lands the tree, but misses the pushback. Stomanen just trying his best to get some space. In fact, actually break the Luna, and they kill her immediately. In fact, Focus just seems unkillable here as SSA tries to avoid the enemy's onslaught. It's impossible for them. Fata is staying behind, protecting his mid laner, but Brame will just sacrifice him and take the wrong shot.
Whew, what a long fight. So many things to highlight there. I think, you know, that was our panel's confusion. It was that fight as to why they decided to pick the Luna into the Shadow Demon, as 9 will, you know, casually remind him, hey, I've got a lot of damage, don't do Rosh in front of me. And Skylark and Focus will go ahead and continue farming until they have more allies. They almost killed Fata, not really almost killing the Luna, but did force rather Skidder to kind of lose focus in that fight. He was like, I'm dying to something. Fata was dying too, and they weren't dying to anything but his own illusions created by the disruption. It was a huge problem in that fight. Kind of put Skidder a little bit out of position, didn't allow him to really support the Clockwork, who bought back. 33 then didn't have anything. It was a really great job there done by Stomanen, getting him a lot of gold, and now he's nearly got this Ag Scepter finished up. One of the best Ags in the game, if you can, you know, afford it for the Shadow Demon. 2 more charges on the ultimate. They all break for the full, what, 5-second duration or 7-second duration. It's pretty incredible. It's going to be a huge get here for Brame.
Yep. And now, I mean, Tundra did manage to at least take a relatively long fight. Wasn't too bad for them. Like, they didn't lose the Void Spread until the end, so 9 is capable of becoming that secondary core that we were asking for. They did manage to beat Magnus, and to a degree you forced Brame into a 4-protect-1 position. So that's not bad. Like, if you can now force them to put all their farm onto the Wraith King, start playing that way, you itemize against them, that's the way that Tundra can beat this as well, by having the Trico versus the 4-protect-1. But they need to take these fights constantly like that. Kill everything around the Wraith King, ignore focus, and doing that is not easy to do.
Another hook shot onto the illusion.
Oh, no.
Good play there by Stomanen, just making life a bit difficult, because you're right, Tundra are eager for these engagements, especially if they can find someone alone like that. Of course, 9 showing off. 9 was just testing the Dagon. He wanted to make sure that it still insta-kills illusions. It's good, guys. It does. It does. We're good. We're good on that end. Oh my goodness, they almost one-shot Fata there. Getting him down to a low half HP. Sharpshooter's on the way in. That'll just heal him to full. There's Focus with a casual 1,000 crit, but that's not enough damage.
SSA, he feels bad for his friends. He feels bad for his enemies. What a dude, you know. He's like, playing 5 is rough. I'll heal you a bit. You don't deserve to die here to the Wraith King. 1 crit takes more than half your HP. I think he can actually crit through the borrowed time. Like, you know,
he can, 100%.
Threshold.
He's doing 1,000 damage already right now to the Abba, right? So yeah, it's a really bad game to be playing Abbott, and if you're stunned or otherwise just can't activate borrowed time. If you're silenced, for example, and what would silence you may ask? Why, it's this Orchid that Wish just finished up, as he's decided to disassemble the Echo Saber. Yes, you can do that, and use one of the Mystic Stabs there to build into the Orchid Malevolence. He's got that one ready to go. What is this? Do you think this is in preparation, perhaps, for a Butterfly on Skidder? Perhaps just future-proofing yourself? So because you can go into that Bloodthorn with the 100% accuracy and the crit.
I mean, I think the Orchid is right now to deal with a Void Spirit who went for a completely offensive build rather than So I think that's your main goal. I think the Bloodthorn is also a good idea later, though. I don't disagree with that notion. But I think right now it's just I gotta kill the Void Spirit. Otherwise, they're gonna be able to get us like the Void Spirit super farm by just kiting my breaking endlessly. So I'll be the solution for that. Secures the RP as well.
Second Roche attempt here, scouted. They're going to try and get through Thoughts on the first life. Focus can't. Oh, he does get it done, actually. As now, Stomanen was being chased down by 9. There's the buyback out from the Abbot, but back into the triangle. Snaking is getting a lot of attention from Focus. Once again, really showing off all that critical damage. 9 still broken, needs to retreat. 9 Skitter, as they have managed to get this first life here off of Focus. Snaking holding on to the hook shot. And he's going to hold on to it for a bit longer. Quite satisfied there with just popping the reincarnation. It's level 3, though, so it's ready to go again in another 30 seconds.
Yep. Once you reach that level 3, it's so difficult for them to be able to deal with Focus. It really is just a guiding job. This might be a game where you consider Ags on the Viper, actually, just to get more Viper strikes and completely ignore Focus throughout the fights. At this point, you know.
I like it. I actually really like the idea. I don't know if it's feasible because then you don't really scale anymore on this 33 Viper, right? I mean, it's an amazing ability, helps you a lot in these team fights, but once you get that, you know, it's going to be no kind of Eye of Scotty sort of Viper that we've seen before. I don't quite remember the game, but we've seen a couple of offlane Vipers, you know, that have not gone for the full utility kind of Rod of Atos, you know, Aura carrying Viper that scale beautifully into the late game. So I feel like Ags might be a bit of a pitfall there if you still want to keep this flexible in terms of having that secondary or as you say, tertiary core then for Tundra. We'll see. Options are still open.
That is true. I feel like it depends on how afraid you are of Focus, you know, in the mid game. It depends on how, if you think Focus is going to overpower you, or if you feel like Focus is looking kind of okay, you know, like if you feel like you already have the tools against them.
This is still first Roche.
Brame has not been able to deal with it.
They want to take it. I mean, second Roche is a game changer. That's why a lot of teams will focus on getting Roche early on. But Tundra have done a great job of just interrupting them time and time again.
Yeah, they go again. Press say Spartan. Burst him down to simulate. Nice job.
Buyback.
SSA is down. He does have buyback, and he's a 5, so he's happy to use it immediately. I'm not going to save it for later. And he'll do the same thing again, because SSA, he's not afraid of death.
Yep, he's not afraid. He knows, don't worry, guys, he doesn't have Astral Chefs. Go get him. And Brame will do it. Roche falling low, though. There's going to be the break applied to the very King. BKB activated with the hook shot in from Snaking. Oh, Focus, though. He still manages to pick up the Aegis. Now broken, and caught by the Earth Splitter is going to be Skitter. They do manage to pop that first life of the reincarnation, but Wish with the RP trying to get onto Skitter. Focus is going to close the gap, get the big old crit, and Eater's Spartan from the buyback to secure the kill, even onto Snaking. 9 causing chaos on the back lines, but now caught here. So many charges, the Demonic Purge keeping him broken, kept him slowed, and they're going to keep him down now for an additional 80 seconds. A big win there for Brame, who somehow managed to get Aegis out of that fight.
Yeah, I think that's why you pick big heroes, dude. I know it sounds like a dumb point of analysis, but it really was just that. Like, the rating was too big with BKB, and Clocker could not click on the Aegis. It's just that simple. Pick a big hero and win. And all 3 cores on Brame are fat. So that's what you, like, not because they have actual gold, just big, bony heroes.
Yeah.
And Clocker can steal the Aegis like that.
Got large models. Really, really great fight, though, for Brame. Skitter was on the way into the Roche pit. I think he maybe saw Aegis on deck for a little too long and a little bit out of position there. Once again, we're just getting these RPs. We're just getting these skewers into the Earth Splitters, which somehow I'm surprised they're catching your Lunas. You know, Earth Splitters are always really nice to have generally against ranged heroes because sometimes they can lack a little bit of mobility. You know, Siege Drow Ranger versus ET for this. But Luna, she's just been unable to escape these time and time again. And now it's just about impossible thanks to the 3 charges of the Demonic Purge. It's so difficult here. Once you're out of position here, Brame are just really well played to, or really well placed with their draft to just punish you for it.
Yeah, Tundra had a window opportunity, or should have had a window opportunity based on their draft around like minute 25 to 30 when like Luna comes online, but they weren't able to use it, particularly because Brame played so well. I don't think Tundra, they just seemed without options despite a good early game. They couldn't snowball as much because Brame secured the farm of the course nicely. And now I think it's getting to the point where Brame just might be stronger. The point though is Skitter did just get Butterfly. So until you get either Bloodthorn or the MKB on Wraith King, which is a possibility, it's going to be difficult to deal with Skitter. So this might be a small power spike you can play around. We'll see. Tundra has to be really clever to take advantage of this.
Oh, he's fine. He's got eggs. He's fine. He was farming in what otherwise is a deadly position, but he's no support ET. That is a core ET, ladies and gentlemen. He's rocking that Sun. He's got the Axe. He'll be good
Oh
to
my
go.
god, these illusions.
Once again, we just love killing these illusions.
It's always the Shadow Demon as well. Every single time they see his illusions, they go, it has to be the real one. I'm so certain this time.
Well, yeah,
He's
you
gonna do it
just
again.
it's one of those heroes. It's like if you see an illusion of an Oracle, like, you know, maybe, or if you see
Yes.
an Oracle, you're not sure if it's real or not, maybe don't, you know, pop your BKB and use Eclipse on it. But hey, if you're a Void Spirit, give him an Astral Step, give him an Dagon. It's going to be a little bit embarrassing. But other than that, it's definitely well worth the risk. The opportunity cost, anyway, I should say.
It's also probably making, like, just knowing Stamana, it's probably making him really happy. Like, every time they go on his illusion, he's probably laughing out loud. And he's telling his team, and I bet his team is laughing too. And Tundra might be getting tilted from these things. Like, why? Has he ever used Disruption on anyone else but himself this whole game? Why is it always him?
Skitter?
Oh, they found Skitter. They forced the BKB. That's a win.
Yeah.
That's a win, though. What is Wish doing there?
He's just
baiting
ready.
the RP. This is what I would have done if I was faster.
This is what I would have done. I had it. Just so you know, I have RP. I don't know if you have wards here. I'll do it under your outpost just so you can see it. I've got it. Yeah, it's I would say even though it's a 1k net word lead, but it really is, especially with this Aegis in the inventory for focus. It really is just Brame setting the tempo, looking for fights as they will cut this bottom wave now. Mid lane is pushing in, but there's only the ranged barracks, so they're not too interested in finishing off the lane. Instead, they set their sights on, the bottom tier 3 tower.
Yep. Since they're going to the side lanes, it's difficult for Tundra to try to flank them, because flanks can only come from one side, and Brame has decided to expand themselves to that side completely. In fact, they're even trying to stop potential lane cutting here, because they know the Void Spirit's going to try, so Stamanen's there.
They got the tower. 9 cut the next mid wave that was coming in. They used the Fortify nicely, so they can only get the tier 3 tower before backdoor really kicks in. Focus is strong. He's real big. He's about to hit level 25. That's how big he is. And he has Aegis still for just now 20 more seconds. But he's not strong enough yet to go through backdoor. So Tundra just delaying the game a bit further. Still feeling like there's a window of opportunity for them. Maybe it's going to be with the Satanic here for the Luna. Wouldn't mind seeing that item get online. I think Ags on Clockwork is a little bit of a pipe dream for now. But that would do nicely to keep, lots of cores locked down, even through BKBs or magic immunity. So there's promising things in the pipe here for Tundra. We got to get there.
For now, Disruption uses someone that was not Stamanen this time. They're going to be just pushing the range tracks. I mean, there's the annoyance you can do. It's not a Luna, but it will do for a bit. And it also keeps Tundra in their base. It's kind of a win. You just choke the enemy out. I mean, Magnus at this point is reaching Luna's level, so even though you're technically gearing towards 4 Protect 1, you're still keeping the rest of your cores farm. So you still have utility elsewhere. In fact, even Stamanen has actually surpassed the Skylark's ET, because they acknowledge that he needs more farm than the ET does. And he's going to be much more useful this game. AUI even pointed it out in the draft. It's a good game to be a Shadow Demon.
No, I mean, you're totally right. You can buy a lot of items that are just going to buff you. It's for ET, I mean, he's totally happy to have the Halberd, especially versus the Luna and the Viper, 2 ranged heroes. 2 ranged heroes who don't really, well, we got an SNY for Luna, but that'll be a full 5-second one on the Viper anyway. And, you've got then the Aeondis to make sure you can just get your abilities off. That's going to be the all-important factor here. It's going to be a 5v4 fight, though. So Brame, I'm not sure if they're too willing to engage here. Stomanen is now joining them, but was maybe about to be cut off. Fata planting the Observer Ward. He's got good vision, but it's going to be chopped down immediately here by Focus. So they're going to be unable to capitalize off of the kind of split positioning from Brame that was momentarily there. Oh, now there's a DD rune.
DD for if this was EE, he would have waited for the DD for a while. Be like, I have to use it in something useful, but Focus just grabs it. I'll find something. I'll make myself useful. Don't worry about it. I don't need the DD.
This guy is scary. This guy is real scary now. He's about to hit level 25. He's got MKB, so, the Orchid Point, although it is a Bloodthorn, I will say on the Magnus, it did get upgraded. We've now got a redundant source of accuracy, especially on your main damage dealer, so that's beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for. Snake King, he's going to be the one to break this smoke. There's going to be the Orchid reveal. My goodness, that damage with the DD rune is a little ridiculous, as he will fall to the Bloodthorn burn.
All right. That's I mean, it's a smoke tank by the Clockwork, which theoretically is good because obviously you just lost the support for a smoke. It's not that big a deal, but it does emphasize what's been happening the whole game with Tundra, where it seems like this is all they can afford to do. They can go for either a quick pick off on heroes that are relevant, or they can go and stop the aggression from Brame, but never actually take the game in their own hands. And I'm wondering when that power spike comes by. Maybe 3-3 at some point is going to become the true carry, which I think he is veering towards. Yeah, Scotty. Yeah, he's like, I'll be the carry, guys.
There's the Eye of Scotty I was talking about. I mean, it's a great item to have this game. Luna needs to go for these items that allows her to just kind of, steel herself up and go mano a mano with the enemy cores, because that's how you beat a Luna. You just get on top of her. But this could free up then the Viper to go for the Eye of Scotty, and, we have plenty of slows to go with here. I like this idea, actually. A little bit more expensive than the Ags for sure. But it comes with then plenty more stats. It's going to scale into the late game, whereas the Ags is really only centered around your Viper Strike. So, yeah, I like the idea here for 33. He's going to be a bit of a problem if he's allowed to get this thing online.
Also allows you to go for the damage talent rather than the Viper Strike damage talent, right? Because if you go for Ags and you go for the Viper, the damage talent, it feels stupid. Why? You reduce the cooldown for nothing. So I think I agree that this allows you to scale better.
Okay. Fanta is the one to break this rotation. It's broken, and now silence. So there's the Pocket Doom, which is not going to allow him to activate that ulti manually or automatically. It's another really good benefit here that I failed to mention about the break here for the Ags on Shadow Demon in conjunction with that Orchid. And there it is, Brame showing it in action.
Yep. I mean, the break is incredible this game. It stops the Luna's Glaives, it stops the Viper as a whole. You might just get the kill on staking here. I don't think Focus going to stop. He sends the Skellies after him, but yeah, I guess if you force the hookshot, you're going to be fine with that. Just push the lanes instead. Wait for the next Roshan. I think it's the goal here for Brame. In fact, they just found it, and that's going to be a Roshan they're going to try to take. If you put all three big heroes around the Aegis, I think Clockwork can't steal it.
That is very likely true. Clockwork can't steal it for the next 25 seconds anyway, because you did force the hookshot out of him in order to save himself.
Oh, true, actually. Very true, very true. Yeah,
so he's
so
not
there's no
able to get into
chances
the pit.
here.
Now you're concerned about 9, but Stomanen's found him. He's not going to be able to get into the pit fast enough, as instead he's just going to try and bother Stomanen a little bit and run for his life. He's scouted by the creep wave. Good job using that Astral Step to get out of line of fire there for the sharpshooter. They're still hunting after them. They got vision on 9 now thanks to the creep wave. There goes Wish in with the Bloodthorn. He's holding on to the RP. He's been pushed back by the Psychic Headband, but the Bushwhack is there. They will commit the RP, and they will get another kill onto 9. Focus is looking down bottom as well. He might just find 33. Oh, he was just a second early on the blink. Oh, that would have been so punishing. It might not matter, though, Avo. I think they've got him.
Yep, he can't TP right now. They have too much damage. They broke him. Okay, he's going to try to, but the damage is too high. And that's going to be sufficient. 3-3 out. And that's going to be 2 buybacks we're going to try to force out of Tundra. They know there's no RP here, though. So Skitter's going to try to play aggressively, trying to find Skylark instead, getting vision as well. Brame needs to regroup if they want to force these buybacks.
That was a very fortuitous kill there for Focus. I don't think he was quite expecting a Viper to be pushing that down bottom that exact moment. I thought he had vision on him, but he was just going there to push the wave out anyway. It's a good Dota basics, keep your lanes pushed out before you go shove enemy high ground, really helping out Brame. Disruption itself is going to force the buyback.
Oh,
okay.
A break. Skitter has the flicker now, though, to at least dispel that. At least the hoodwink one. And, that's the offensive 4-step, it seems like. And they're going to put Skylark in a difficult position, but nope. Skylark's just going to get a little skewer off. Let's see if they can kill the Abaddon at least. They can try to save his teammate, but it's not going to succeed. Fanta's going to go down. Reincarnation has been forced out with the Eclipse as well from Skitter, but Skitter, they put him in the disruption, and they proceed to surround him. Skitter, where are you going to go? He tries to flicker, but not to the high gun. Skitter fighting with all his might. The Satanic is keeping him alive for not for long enough, as Brame ends up getting the kill on Skitter. 90 seconds at this Luna. How are they going to fight now? They're trying to salvage this fight, but it might just be too late. They do get focus. But SSA, he hits the Abaddon who just blocks this. Skylark wants to be the true carry right now. He is axed. He is looking to finish off 9, but 9 at the Minotaur Horde. He's not going to get stopped at the Bushwhack. Instead, they have to settle for the Fata, for the Abaddon here.
They lost Skylark. That's a
Skylark does fall on the backlines. 3-3 does take the mental carry. Going for Wish, staking somehow. Still fighting here with a hookshot to set up for this kill on the Magnus. And SSA has to TP. Only the 2 supports will be left alive here on Brame. A good start to this fight, but 3-3 a bit too powerful.
Yeah, what a hold. It really was that, right? They're just not acknowledging this Viper right now. He's a really, really big problem in these fights. They did well to first of all, I was surprised at that aggressive force staff. I actually thought Skylark forced himself in, or maybe Spartan forced him in. It might have actually been Spartan that forced him in, to be completely honest with you. I'm not quite sure who forced him in. But I was really surprised that they decided to engage in that fashion. It was, yeah, it is a Spartan play. Spartan's like, I'm not playing a hero that can buy recall, so I have to force you into fights now. That was a great one, though, for Tundra. Again, managing to just kind of outlive that. The Luna, by getting off the Satanic, by just flickering further into the trees, kind of puts Brame in a really awkward spot and just lets 33 sit, stand, and deliver, really. I guess fly and deliver on the high ground there. Now he's got Eye of Scotty. We're about to finish up this Ag Scepter here for Snake King. Tundra may just very well be right back in the swing of this game.
Yeah. I mean, they still lost a couple of buybacks in that fight, right? It wasn't like a free fight for them entirely. It's still a win considering the position they were in, but at least they showed that they can fight this. And Viper is actually starting to become a threat, so maybe Brame needs to change the way they propose these fights, and they have to concentrate first on, like I said, putting the Viper out of position, like mentioned in the early game. In fact, they were doing that in the early game a lot against 3-3. But it's harder to do now that he has Hurricane Pike and Scotty.
Especially Scotty. Scotty was after that fight, of course. So we haven't seen the impact. I just want to remind you very quickly, though, yes, we had to use the buybacks. We had to use a lot of resources for Tundra. But if we look at what Brame used in that fight, Reincarnation had to kill Wraith King twice, right? Buyback on Skylark had to kill him twice, and you did. Aegis on Wish had to kill him twice, and you did. You know, I don't really see a fight getting much more difficult for Tundra from here than that fight just was for them, especially because Skitter, he's now got buyback available. You know, he didn't have to buy back in the fight, didn't have buyback, actually. Wish, oh no. Well, he might have to use it now, as he's going to be pulled across the Flicker to get him out of position, though. So far, so good for them. Broken, but stable with a lifesteal. They're going to have to throw him in the Disruption. Spartan with the Bushwhack on the way back out. BKB not yet activated for the Luna, as she's outside of the cogs. They're going to be able to get focus on the first life. 9 is going to be right onto Stoman and using the flicker of his own to try and clear the gap. And now Wish and Focus popping the BKB as Skitter with the Eclipse out, still trying to fight. Down goes Wish. Focus not in a great spot either. Skylark trying to get off the Echo Stomp will at least find Skitter as 9 is caught by the stun in the river by Focus. Fata continuing to fight this out as they actually have lost Wish and Focus both in this fight. And now Spartan is going to be the next to go. That's 4 dead for Brame. What?
Okay, that was an incredible team fight. Snaking, my goodness, this man did so much work. Yang was right, dude. Automation in America is taking jobs because that robot did much more than all of Tundra together. Oh my goodness, those cogs. I mean, they just didn't know what to do against them. They were stuck in a choke point. Mind you, might have not been the best place to fight for Brame. But regardless, they have so many ways to move the Luna around. You have a single Force Staff in Hoodwink, which is just not dealing with these cogs appropriately. Once they cancel your blink, you're done for, and now you have to defend without focus. Tundra has a chance to at least take one lane of Rax.
Yeah, if not
but
the
maybe
game,
not, because Luna has to fight her sisters.
Oh, true. Oh, she actually doesn't have any source of accuracy, so her illusions are a little bit of a problem with the butterfly.
Yeah. She went for stats as well. She's like, well, the best way to deal with Shadow Demon is pretend he's not there. She didn't go for Manta, though, to be fair. But, yeah, it is a problem now coming into the game because she went for, I mean, almost always a Luna goes for stats builds. I don't know what else you can build. Yeah. There was a point that AUI was mentioning in the panel, right, about how Chinese Lunas will, like, deviate, skip the Manta, go straight into, like, a Daedalus build, for example. I think that's a possibility, but at this point in the game, you need some of the stats. So instead you go for the Daedalus as opposed to the typical Scotty, and hopefully that's going to buff up your damage without helping SD even more this game.
I guess, I mean, it's a Dagon 3. 9 did have, and he's actually re-queued up now the Dagon 5 after finishing up the Actorine Core on the Void Spirit. So you can use one of those Dagon shots to get rid of an illusion. That might be something well worth it, especially when we get a little bit more bonus damage coming through on the Demon Edge, and once the Daedalus is up. Because that's going to be a bit of a difficulty for them. But speaking of difficulties, killing Skitter is now by far not an easy or trivial task. He's got Satanic passive lifesteal. He's now got the 25 lifesteal talent. And of course, the active for Satanic, which, as a reminder now, dispels. So he's got 2 dispels for himself, the BKB active and the Satanic, and a crap ton of lifesteal.
3, actually.
I'm not going to attempt to do NA math here. And Flicker. He's got a 3rd. Thank you very much.
Yep. So that's great. You're never going to be able to break him with the Sharpshooter, that's for sure. So, and the slow from the Wraith Fire Blast is pretty much non-existent this game. I mean,
True.
it's looking good for them, but... What? Of course.
I was gonna say, of course, none of these will do a darn thing versus the 3 charges of Demonic Purge, right? It's important to notice to note that, but the rest of the lockdown that Brame have to try and deal with this Luna, especially when we do have a 4-staff on the side of her team to help her get out of a sticky situation, it might not be enough. A 4-staff and, of course, another hard dispel, right, with the Aphotic Shield. So it's not easy to take down this Luna. She's not only a raid boss, she's a full raid party, right? You've got a bunch of buffers behind her. You got some control. Yep. She's just your DPS. You got, yeah, I mean, it's looking real good for Tundra.
Right now, though, what Brame needs to do is honestly buy 4-staffs. Like, if this Clockwork Cogs have been making your game impossible, I think you still only have one. Just buy more 4-staffs. The whole team, except for Wraith King. You just get a 4-staff at this point. And that way you 4-staff Wraith King, and finally his fat ass can surprise the Cogs. They're going to go for the Luna. They know, it's like, I'm fighting near a choke point, they're going to stop me again, and in fact, they're going to do so. Look at those hook shot. The Cogs, Disruption is him for a bit, but he's already in those Cogs. They break him quickly with the Illusion. That's another solution you have. In fact, they're so angry they break all the Cogs.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they're acknowledging their enemy is the Cogs right now, so I think that's fair.
Get rid of these darn Cogs. I don't want to see them ever again. Just a little bit of saber rattling there, just looking to see if anyone would overcommit with a BKB charge or a big ability, whatever it should be. But good patience all around here. So no one with a sizable advantage after that little skirmish. Both teams acknowledging the fact that Roshan is going to be respawning, well, now. They didn't know it would be now, but they knew the window was now. And in fact, now both teams are going to catch a whiff of them. Third Roche, 51 minutes in here. Time flies when you're casting Dota. We'll see how long this one will go. So we're starting to really get up here with some of the talents and levels. Especially
when you're casting Brame, because you usually get an idea of what point the game is at based on the enemy's plays, but when you're casting Brame, it's like, it could be any time, really. 60 minutes in, they're playing, I mean, much crazier than most teams would, and Tundra is actually trying to match their tempo as well, playing aggressive, trying to force mistakes out of Brame. They're doing a really good job. Most teams sometimes get, like, overwhelmed by Brame's style, especially in the mid-late game once focus is farmed. And Tundra, not at all, actually. This shows the strength of Fata's captainship. Especially now that they're supposed to be losing. Actually, no, they're winning now for sure. Or they should feel like they're winning.
They should feel like they're winning, and I think the metrics will tell us, I think, that they're winning as well. What does Dota Plus say? 49, 51%. So even Dota Plus agrees with them here.
Oh, wow.
Giving them that 1% edge case.
Slightly. Oh, look at that. Cogs. And they keep him inside. Focus needs some help. He needs illusions to break these Cogs. He wants to get away from this. The Viper started spitting on him, though, and he can't break the Cogs as yet. Focus is stuck. He's going to lose his first life snaking. He can still keep him in place. There's the Eclipse, but it's not going to hit anyone as Focus does have the BKB. The Earth Splitter's been used, but Focus is dying to the Viper yet again. The spits are too powerful. Focus is going to die.
Hookshot number 2.
In fact, snaking once more, a secondary Cog, this time for Stomatin, tries to get away thanks to the 4-staff, but it's not going to be sufficient. Sorry, the Flicker actually saved him. Oh, in fact, never mind. He is going to be able to TP out. I underestimated his mobility. Good job. Good job, Stomatin.
Flicker, man. All right, well, you got the buyback out from 9. They committed RP for him. You got the buyback out from Wraith King now. Reincarnation ready to go. Third Roche is up, so this is a non-negotiable for both teams, Avo. They're going to go right back to it as Tundra will smoke up. Heading into the triangle of Brame. Brame, though, already prepared for them. Focus into the river he goes. They're going to find Wish for a Skitter with this initial stun. There's going to be a hook shot. They might just be able to get through him. He does not have buyback taken down for 2 minutes now. Focus this time acknowledging the Elephant's in the room, and it's a Viper, but the Elephant hurts too much. He's been sat on already for his first life. Skylark already disengaging from this fight as Skitter just piling on the damage. There's the Spartan at least buying Focus just a second with the Bushwhack, but it's just that. 1 extra second, Avo. He's still going to go down. They're chasing after their squirrel. They want Spartan now. It's open hunting. It's open season.
Yeah, Spartan's trying to do his best to, like, you know, force the enemy to lose their time. Hopefully he'll back up. Snaking is not getting anything. The hook shot. He just guessed where he camouflaged. What a god, Snaking. American Clockworks, I'm telling you, are just so good. Tundra is not going to be able to push a laner Rax, perhaps 2, honestly, maybe even end the game. You have the Shard of Viper, and you have a Luna. There you go. Just go end the game. No fear, no hesitation, no man left behind.
Absolutely not, and no hesitation. That's all it takes. We don't need any stinking barracks. Tier 3 down bottom is going to open the door for victory here in game 1-2 Tundra. Skitter going to be on BKB up. They got the Curse of Avernus applied as well. Skylark trying to get in there to at least delay it a second longer. But Tundra had their eyes set on the throne. They've already taken game number 1.